Almost done, guys. Okay, the next person up is Theresa Navarro. Theresa and I go way back to San Francisco. We were coworkers at the Asian American Film Festival. So when she moved to New York, I grabbed her anytime I could get her. She's taken all of my workshops, she's read at past readings, and she's given up her free time to help Loslet and Grumpy Bird. So she's a special one. So here's her bio. Theresa Navarro is an interdisciplinary producer, educator, and writer. Her recent projects include the public television series American Reframed and sci-fi feminist film Advantageous, which screens at BAM Cinefest next Sunday, then streams on Netflix. She's currently working on a marathon reading of Jose Rizal's work for FAM, a Filipino-American museum startup. Born and raised in California, she now resides in Brooklyn by way of Honolulu. Follow her on Twitter at Theresa Teen. Please welcome Theresa.
Nice. I like how we're all around the same height, so that works out for me. This is also untitled. Yeah, here we go. Christina has only been at this cafe job for a week. Despite the 10-minute commute, she somehow manages to show up half an hour late for every single shift. Today is no exception. No time to fix her hair, so it's piled in a get-shit-done bun on top of her head. She moved back to her parents' house a month ago, and she still hasn't unpacked her toiletries, so she makes do by brushing her teeth with her finger and some toothpaste. She splashes her face and quickly checks for eye boogers. Nope, all good. However, her eye bags seem to be in full bloom. Then she's out the door, driving her mom's old Nissan down familiar streets she hoped she'd never have to see again. The cafe is kitty corner from her old high school, located on the site of what used to be a sketchy Chinese restaurant specializing in cheap fries served in greasy brown bags. Fast forward 15 years later, it's now a bistro with organic local fare that is actually just bulk mixed grains from Costco. Her boss, Barry, is only a couple of years older than her and a longtime family friend, the kind with unsolicited advice and uncomfortably long hugs. He kept in touch over the years and even supported her last failed crowdfunding campaign. So when he heard she was back in town and in need of work, he Facebook messaged her because he's really cool and downloaded the app on his phone. He needed someone like her to help with marketing, which ends up being a combination of social media, showing face, and occasionally helping out with the table if she wants for tips, he adds with a winking face emoji. Imagine that, his message pings with a wad of cash sticker. The homecoming queen and movie star working here at my bistro. The line will be out the door. But it's 9:45 and the cafe is still pretty empty by the time Christina finally clocks in at the front register. She starts to rehearse an excuse as she scans the room for Barry, but he's nowhere to be found. He had to run out. Her 17-year-old coworker shrugs. I guess it's just us girls. I'm 35, Christina thinks to herself. I could have aborted you in high school. She forces a smile in the girl's direction, imagining this tattooed girl with terrible eyebrows might actually be a reincarnation of her unborn child, which means moving back to her parents' house in this godforsaken suburb is some kind of penance, and this cafe must be her personal hell. Hello, a nasal voice pierces through the generic ambiance of the cafe's acoustic playlist. Unheeded, the disembodied customer lets out an exasperated sigh. Ugh. That's your section? Her childlike colleague rolls her eyes in the general direction of the ball of impatience. Be right with you, ma'am. Christina cringes as she looks over at her coworker when she realizes she doesn't even know tattoo bad eyebrow girl's name, so she casually glances at her name tag. Thanks, Tiffany. On her way to the table, Christina gets a whiff of a vaguely familiar scent, a floral fragrance that somehow smells both expensive and cheap at the same time. It's a four-top, but there only appears to be one woman seated there. The customer's breakfast partners are an oversized brand-name purse and Target shopping bags of assorted sizes. Oh my God, Christina, is that you? The woman slides down her sunglasses to reveal a half-familiar face. It's me, Jessica, JFK, class of 2000, go Titans. Oh, hey, Jay. Christina fakes a nickname, but her facial expression reads, who the hell are you? She captures herself and offers a lukewarm compliment. You look well. Jessica takes off her glasses, a smirk across her face. Yes, well, the girls and I just came back from a 3-day hike in Havasupai for Jen's birthday. Her divorce is final, and based on her prenup, she'll be living off that Google alimony until her kids are off to school. Christina's non-response gives Jessica a moment to absorb her completely. I can't even remember the last time I saw you. Aren't we friends online? We're not friends in life, Christina thinks, but decides it's best to say otherwise. I'm not really online after the breakup and everything. She instantly bites her lip, regretting the personal revelation, wondering why it came out so suddenly. Just then, Tiffany passes through their section for her regular coffee break, momentarily disrupting the former classmates' détente. They had been friends, Christina remembers that much, but she forgot whether or not they parted on good terms. It felt like such a long time since she left their hometown, moved to LA, and made a couple films, falling in love with men and women along the way. Christina searches Jessica's face, wondering if they had messed around in high school. Is this why this is so tense? Oh, right, Jessica plays sympathetic, but adds glibly, he cheated on you, right? Something like that, Christina half lies. In reality, the nature of their relationship meant they were always seeing other people the entire time. But she wasn't trying to explain something like that to a smug townie who inexplicably went on a Target shopping spree at 9 a.m. on a weekday. Christina catches herself in the cafe window and sees Tiffany getting ready to come back inside. She gazes longingly at Tiffany's every exhale, but even as a grown-ass woman, she doesn't have the balls to smoke in her parents' house. The last decade of heavy partying had really taken a toll on her. Her LA lifestyle meant tanning and toning and taking all kinds of drugs. Drugs, Christina grimaces. Now she remembers. Well, what goes around comes around, Jessica clucks her tongue. What are you doing back here anyway? Are you back with your parents, working on a script? The script dig found its mark. She's a joke, even here. Resigned, Christina starts to take her order, but in her lateness, she hadn't put on her apron or her name tag. She finally gets it. This bitch has no idea that I work here. Sorry about that, Christina. Tiffany's raspy voice cuts through the awkward silence. I'll have your iced coffee ready for you in a sec. In the meantime, ma'am, what will you be having this morning? Jessica dismisses Christina with a staccato of blinks, orders an acai bowl before she takes out her phone, and rapid fires texts to Jen and Jill and all her other J-named friends that start something like, you'll never guess who I just saw. Relieved and slightly nauseous, Christina makes her way to the back of the house, but Tiffany intercepts her and gestures to the door for a smoke break. The pair sit quietly on the curb until midway through the cigarette when Tiffany finally asks, so what was that about? Christina hesitates, then explains that they used to be friends until one night they got trashed and Jessica caught her boyfriend doing a bump off Christina's nipple. The left one, she points, slightly embarrassed. Tiffany pauses, thoughtfully but without judgment. That's why she called you Coke Tits. Christina laughs deep and real for the first time since she can't remember when, and the pair notices Barry's car pull up in front of them. My girls, he says enthusiastically as he practically jumps out of the car and wraps his arms around them both, punctuating his hug with a big squeeze for good measure. Across the street, a passerby stops and smiles, taking in the heartwarming sight of what he believes to be a nice, happy family. Thanks.